going back to Q2, if you'll, is we will always have a lot of cash on hand. And when I say cash, I don't mean commercial paper. When 2008 and 2009 financial panic came along, we didn't own anybody's commercial paper. We didn't have money market funds. We have treasury bills. And as I may get into a little later, I'll explain to you why. We believe in having cash. And there have been a few times in history, and will be more times in history, where if you don't have it, you don't get to play the next day. I mean, it's just it's like oxygen. It's there all the time, but if it disappears for a few minutes, it's all over. So our cash was down on March 31st because, as you saw, we spent that large sum there in that brief period during the quarter, $40 billion. We've committed to buy Allegheny Corp for something over $11 billion, but we will always have a lot of cash. We don't. Some of our companies have bank lines. I don't know why they have the bank lines. We're better than the banks, and we'll give them the money if they need it. But the local bankers have been calling on them, and they need something to do. Everybody else has bank lines, so it's harmless. But there's no reason for any of our subsidiaries to have bank lines. Berkshire is stronger than the banks that do. I didn't hear exactly what I don't know whether that was a banker screaming or. I don't really like to torture. I don't like to torture anybody. I mean, but and I'm all for banks, and we'll talk about that a little later. In fact, we might even talk about it right now, just for a minute. Money's kind of an interesting thing. People seem to like to talk to me about it. I mean, they don't ask me how to dance or anything like that, but they do ask about money. And so, if we'll put up 20-1, it's a photo of a $20 bill, and it says at the top, Federal Reserve notes. Now, Federal Reserve note, we've done all kinds of things with money in this country. It's amazing, country only a couple hundred years old, the number of different experiments we've made with banks and everything. But we finally just decided to let the Federal Reserve do the issuing of money. And down in the lower left-hand corner, incidentally, I think Rosie Rios, who signed this note, I think she signed more U.S. currency than any other person in history. So if you see Rosie, you cozy up to her. I mean, this is a woman that has issued a lot of currency. But it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, and that makes it money. You can go into our candy store, and if you offer us enough bushels of wheat, we'll probably give you a box of candy. But money is the only thing that the IRS is going to take from you. You can offer them all kinds of. You can offer them paintings. You can offer them all whatever. But this is what settles debts in the United States. And I thought that you'll hear a lot about various kinds of money. This is the only kind of money you're going to see, in my opinion, throughout your lifetime, or even throughout Charlie's lifetime. I mean, this is it's very interesting because it just says that settle all legal tender for all debts, public and private, and nothing else.